I am not a slave. My ancestors went through slavery, so I didn't have to. So you can miss me with all of that.
Can't say I didn't try. It might make me cry. Oh, it might hurt, no lie. Miss you, but goodbye.
What's good, y'all? Welcome to 12 Days of Storytime. If you guys are not aware, we kind of pushed this back a little bit, so we are going to be having some videos on certain weekends. I think it's only going to be this weekend, but then next weekend I'll be fine. Honestly, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm not looking at a calendar right now. So with that being said, before we get started, please make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe. And if you haven't watched all of my story times, please make sure you go binge that playlist. If you guys are not aware, I did start a GoFundMe for my family and I because we've been struggling due to my dad's condition. So if you have already donated, thank you more than anything. Like when I'm telling y'all, I had to swallow a lot of pride to do a fucking GoFundMe. I probably should have did this shit like a year ago. However, it was like, you know what? I had to bite the bullet because at this point, it's just like, I'm about to be damn near 30. There's no reason I still have problems with letting people in and being vulnerable. So I'm trying to make a change regarding a lot of my stubborn attributes. And one of my stubborn attributes is not letting people in. So again, thank you guys so much for donating, and most importantly, thank you guys so much for supporting me. Other ways to support are, of course, joining my Patreon, buying merchandise from my other two channels, or scheduling a consultation with my business Media Hustle, which helps you with your online brand. And of course, if you don't have money to support any of that, just run up my videos, okay? Just watch everything on any channel, and that will help me more than anything. So with that being said, as you guys can tell by the title of today's video, we're gonna be talking about how Haitian businesses be having me fucked up. Because honestly, I feel like I have a story time like this every year. I've done a few videos on like Haitian businesses pissing me off, Haitian business doing this, Haitian business doing that. And I'm just like, why can't you guys be fucking normal? Why can't you guys like literally not piss me off to the point where I actually have to make a video every year about you guys? So I was going to put 3 stories in one video, and I actually did film it already, but it was way too long. And I realized that these could have been separate videos. So first off, we're going to start with this bitch, right? So I feel like a lot of people are going to know what I'm talking about, and I genuinely don't care because I said what I said. I meant what I said. Be better. If you have a problem with me making a video about you, be better. Like that's just the bottom line. And on top of that, like this girl just really had me fucked up, right? So I was asked to host a Haitian-based event, right? I host a lot of events, especially Haitian-based events, but this one in particular was really cool because it was very niche. And I ended up doing their smaller scale events, which tied into their bigger event. So fast forward, they end up asking me to host their bigger scale event since I did so well with the smaller scale one. They said, send over a contract. Of course, I sent over the contract, and I realized a day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days later, nobody answered back with payment or signing of the contract. I touched base with the person who emailed me, which also happened to be the owner. And she's like, oh, can we hop on a call? Now, you guys are probably like, how the hell didn't you know you were talking to the owner of the event? This is because when I actually hosted the first event, she didn't talk to me. Like, it was hard to figure out who in the world actually owned the event. She's very recluse. She's very low key. She's very laid back. So I personally think that, like, since she kind of blends into the background, she's always doing shit for the organization as well. So I didn't really get to see her too much. But when I did, she just didn't really talk to me because she couldn't, because I was hosting and she was doing other stuff. So we get on the phone and she immediately apologizes. And she's like, I am so sorry that I didn't get to greet you and get to, really talk to you at the first event. I was just really upset with how the event went. Now you guys are probably like, Ivana, how did the event go? Bitch, all I'm going to say is, I don't really mean to be cocky, but it wasn't me. And truth is truth. I even took my man to this event, and it was probably one of the most poorly organized events, and it wasn't really their fault. It was everybody else. So it was more so like a panel, and then they had like a compa class type situation, right? So I literally got there. Funny thing, right? I got there late as the host, and I feel bad about it, but it's not my fault. I was in traffic. right? I was in like insane amount of traffic. This event was in New York City. So of course, traveling from New Jersey, I had to give myself a buffer. At this time I was living in Harrison. So I took the Lincoln Tunnel. I've never really taken the Lincoln Tunnel before. So I underestimated the travel time tremendously. Like I'm used to taking Staten Island to New York. I'm used to taking Holland Tunnel to New York. But obviously the Lincoln Tunnel was worse than all of those combined. So I ended up being late. But I didn't get there like super late because by the time I got there, nobody was there. I was literally one of the first people there. I met the fucking DJ in the bathroom. I met panelists in the bathroom getting ready. So I'm sitting here rushing, like literally like, I'm fucking late. Mind you, I was texting her. I was having my boyfriend text the girl in the car like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm like 20 minutes late. Like I wasn't like an hour late, y'all. I was like maybe 20 or 30 minutes late, which is late, but still I was fucking early. That's the point, right? And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, so I'm early. There's like, yeah, girl, ain't nothing going on. Like literally in the bathroom. They're like, girl, ain't nothing going on yet. And I'm like, note taken. I was the first one out the bathroom. And I kind of start trying to entertain guests and stuff like that. But then I'm like, oh, wait, damn, I need a mic, right? So I go and I ask the DJ who was in the bathroom with me when she finally comes out the bathroom like 30 minutes later, like, hey, do you have a mic? She said, oh, sorry, girl, I ain't got a mic. I do have a wired mic like in my car, but I ain't got a mic. And I'm looking at her like, what type of fucking DJ travels without a mic? Anytime I hear a DJ travel without a mic, I genuinely just don't think they're a real DJ because I feel like that's just something you should always have. Like, but at the same time, it's to the point where like I bought my own mic now. Like I have a mic set, like a wireless mic set because of shit like this, because it just doesn't really make sense. How do you invite me to host an event and you don't even have a mic? I've done backyard events and they had a fucking mic. So this is fucking crazy. So I'm just looking at her like, okay, like please go get the mic. So I go to someone else on the, that's part of the organization. I'm like, yeah, we really need to get a mic. She's like, oh, we're so sorry. The venue was supposed to have it. Could you ask the DJ? And I was like, I asked the DJ. She didn't have one, but she had to go run to her car to get it. And now they're kind of annoyed because they're just like, oh my gosh, she's supposed to be playing music by now. Yeah, I mean, the event should have started an hour ago. There's no music. There's just people walking around, sitting around. It doesn't look great, but I can't really do much because I don't have a mic. I'm like, yeah, that's very unfortunate. So you guys would have thought, oh, I got the mic and shit started kicking up. Kid you not, I ain't never seen a DJ like that. She barely played any music. She was very like lackadaisical. Okay, and I'm gonna get to that part in a little bit. And it just was like the mic sounded trash and it didn't help that it was a wired mic. We all know wired mics are fucking irritating. They kind of like get in the way. But also some of them just aren't that great. Like you have to spend a lot of good money like into good audio system for a wired mic to actually sound good, especially these days with the upgraded enhancements and stuff like that. So I'm just doing what I can. I'm trying to entertain niggas. I'm trying to dance around. I'm trying to, shout out to the vendors and stuff like that. And I'm just like, when the fuck is this shit starting? Because I thought, I didn't understand because I'm like, why are y'all letting me just talk on this mic for on and on and on? Like, I'm tired. I know how to talk. But at this point, I'm just sitting here like, when is this event starting? So let's say the event was supposed to start at 6. At this point, it's like 7:30. And I'm like, what is going on? First of all, where are the panelists? I'm so lost. So I start asking, around on to the people that are on this board, like, yo, where are the panelists? Like, what is actually going on? And they're like, oh, we're still waiting for 2 of them. And I'm just like, 2? There's only fucking 4. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. I can't entertain for this long. But I did. Okay, but I did. And there was like, also, we're also waiting for the compa instructor. I'm like, the compa instructor? Like, nigga, wasn't she supposed to be here at 8? How long do you guys have this shit reserved for? They was like, well, in events like these, we kind of had it reserved for like 12, like 6 to 12, just in case something like this happened. So I was like, okay, so I guess you guys have time, but it's just like, you guys have these people sitting around doing nothing. It's kind of like, I don't know. Then I was like, yeah, we're trying to get things around, just get the people hyped, blah, 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 whatever. So panel ends up happening and the DJ is sitting on the floor on the phone. Swear to God, sitting on the floor on the phone behind the panelists. Now, I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, if this was my event, I'd probably beat her ass. Because ain't no way you about to be at my event that I'm paying you to DJ, barely even DJ, didn't have the right equipment, and then you sitting on the floor talking while my panelists are fucking speaking. It was to the point where I had to tell her at least 4 to 5 times, like, girl, like, we can hear you talking on the phone. Like, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Yo, can't make this shit up. Like, you really can't make this shit up. So, whatever. Panelist is over. We're still waiting for the compa instructor who ends up showing up at 9 o'clock. Remember how I told you guys I was late because I was traveling from Jersey? Apparently, this girl was traveling from Jersey as well. And some way, somehow, she got stuck in traffic for 3 hours. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. New Jersey to New York is about 30 to 40 minutes without traffic, right? The traffic makes it about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Kid you not, swear to God. Depending on what part of New York you're going to, but a majority of the parts of New York, it's literally going to take that long. So I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, right? Are you guys really fucking kidding me right now? Like, I was really sitting there thinking to myself, like, there's no fucking way all of this shit is happening that late. Like, the fact that she came that late, I was just like, yeah, she don't respect y'all and she don't respect herself, because that's fucking crazy, right? Panel goes on, compa class goes on. I get asked to do the second event, and we're back to the email. She's like, you know what? I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you. I really didn't like how the event turned out. I'm like, yeah, it was a hot ass mess, but hey, it was nice, you know, after all of that shit. Like, people did seem to enjoy themselves. She's like, yeah, you know, that's why, you know, I really want to make sure this next event is bigger and it's better, but also we want to add another mini event in between. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. She's like, yeah, so I want you to be able to host this event and also promote this event on social media. Now, let me just get my coffee for this real quick. If you guys haven't been watching me for a while, you would know I'm an influencer. That's what I do. This is my full-time job, which means I cannot afford to do shit for free unless it is at my own discretion. On top of that, I'm not going to pay for services or come out of pocket for any services that I promote. And if you want me to promote something, it is completely different from the fee of actually making an appearance or hosting an event. Keep all of that in mind. Okay, and this is not just a me thing, it's an influencer thing. And I'm actually extremely reasonably priced. And on top of that, I'm actually really nice and I know what the fuck I'm doing. I went to school for broadcast journalism and public relations, and I speak for a living. So pay me what the fuck I'm worth. All right, that's all I gotta say. Pay me what the fuck I'm worth. So in the emails, when she wasn't sending the payment, you know, eventually she did say something about me promoting the shit online. And I don't remember. I have to go back in the emails. If I remember, I'll put them in the video. If I'm too lazy, I won't. But nonetheless, there was talk about me promoting it. And I was trying to be very, very like accommodating. And I was like, okay, yeah, you know, we'll talk about it, or yeah, I'll do it. I don't remember if I agreed or if I said, we'll talk about it. I don't know what it was, but nonetheless, that was something in the talk. So when we got on the phone, we started talking about it more. And I was like, yeah, like typically me promoting an event as well as hosting an event is two different things. But I mean, I do need you to come to a decision soon, because I'm also supposed to be trying to plan a meet and greet. I was supposed to have a meet and greet for you guys last year. However, like it was just, things got insanely hectic. I didn't have the money because I just had my media hustle event. And on top of that, it just would have been too short notice with the planning. So, but at the time I was still trying to have the event, and literally her event was like the day before what would have been my meet and greet. So I was like, yeah, girl, like you have to figure it out, because I'm already going to be in New York. But if your shit's going to be in Brooklyn or Bronx or Queens or whatever the fuck, I'm going to need to know right now, you know, because I need to plan accordingly. So, you know, she's like, yeah, like, you know, it's just the budget is extremely tight. And, you know, we haven't hunkered down on the event space yet. This is the thing. At this point, the event is less than a month out. It has to be 3 weeks before the event. And you're telling me you don't have the event space. Oh, well, you know, we try to collaborate with a Black-owned business. However, they're kind of asking for a lot, and they actually want to be promoted as well as a venue. And they want us to do this, and they want us to do that. But, you know, I'm not really, you know, feeling it. So I'm trying to find another venue. But, you know, like this venue, it's actually pretty affordable. It's $5,000. Mind you, that wasn't the price. But I was just looking at, like, the phone. Like, she's talking. I'm like, $5,000. Why the fuck would you spend $5,000 on an event space when you could get something for like $2,000, even $1,000 in New York or even in New Jersey? Like, why the fuck are you spending that much money on an event space? Well, you know, like, I just really want to make sure it's really, really nice, and it's da-da-da-da-da, and it's the vibe that I want. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, you're wasting money on bullshit. Like, you're talking about the budget, but literally the venue don't need to be no damn $5,000. Like, this is absolutely crazy. And then they're asking you to do shit you don't want to do. Like, come on. from what I understand, the event space that they originally wanted to go for, like they kind of were aligned with like white investors. So it was kind of like, ooh, like you're a black owned business with white investors, and then people don't know that. But then if they start looking into it and your organization is working with them, it doesn't jive well. So it was a lot of things that went into that. So I understood exactly where she was coming from. And then we started talking about so many other things, you know, personal things, situations with like people basically trying to bite off her and take her event idea. Like it was really interesting. And then she was like, yeah, I also have to get the flyer remade. And at the, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm not even booked as a host yet because you ain't paying me, nor did you sign my contract. You don't have the venue and the flyer's not done. Where the fuck is this event going to happen? I said, so what's going on with the flyer? And she's like, well, you know, my graphic designer that does the flyers, she's basically saying she doesn't do the style of flyer that she did for me anymore. So I have to go with a different style. Do you guys see the theme here? I'm just sitting here looking at the phone again, like, okay, like how do, like, are you, is she paying you to do the flyer or are you paying her? Like, who gives a fuck what the fuck she wants? Who gives the fuck what the fuck she likes? Like, you're paying her to do a service, do that shit. And if she doesn't do that style anymore, go to someone else that does. No, but I really like the way she did the flyer, but you know, she doesn't really want to do it. So she's trying to give me other ideas and sending me different flyers that I don't like. And I'm like, well, you have to put your foot down and you have to say, I don't want this. Like, I was so confused. And it was a common theme throughout the entire conversation of, oh, well, they want me to do this, but this is what I want, but they don't want to adhere to it. Bitch, you're the one paying them for a service. Therefore, the service needs to be rendered exactly the way you want it to. Ain't no, this is what they want me to do. Like, what are you even talking about right now? So eventually we start talking about Media Hustle services. If you guys are not aware, Media Hustle is my social media brand where I help people with their social media presences. It's actually something I've been doing for a long time, but I mainly do consultancies, but she wanted like social media management because she's just not able to really post all the time on there. And I was like, all right, you know, I'll send you a proposal, blah, blah, blah. Keep me posted on everything with the event, right? So the thing is that was interesting is she was trying to add 2 events in the next 4 to 5 weeks. It just didn't make sense to me and it wasn't viable because events are a lot to plan and it's a lot to promote and it's kind of hard to get people to come out to something like last minute like that. So basically she wanted me to host both, but on top of that, she offered for me to have my meet and greet there. And I was like, oh my God, perfect. I don't have to pay for a venue. I don't have to do anything. But the caveat is obviously you guys would have to pay for admission and majority of my followers live in New York. So I know people would have came out. And then you're also asking me to promote the event. And then we're going to get to it. So a few days pass and she basically contacts me with this long ass spew talking about how, you know, she no longer has a budget for hosting. And instead she would like for me to make an appearance because she doesn't think I'm going to be doing much hosting. Apparently, the next event space, okay, that she found a different event space. The person that owns that space, I think it was like a restaurant or something, doesn't want it to be too crowded. Again, are you paying them or are they paying you? Like, go to fuck the hell. Like, go to fuck the hell, bitch, because what are you talking about? Like, she's like, oh, I don't have a budget and I don't know how much hosting you'll really be doing because, you know, we're not going to have this and we're going to cut this out. And I'm just like, at this point, what's the point of the event? Like, people are just going to be coming and walking around. Like, because you literally cut down 90% of your shit. Like, she was supposed to have a panel, like, games. It was like a class, like a paint and sip type class. Like, it was supposed to be different stations, kind of like a little festival type vibe, but indoors. So I'm like, at this point, what the fuck is the point? She's like, oh, you know, at this point, I have a budget. This is the shit that pisses me off, right? So I had quoted her at about $700 for everything, which is extremely generous because my prices are my prices and they definitely not no goddamn $700. My prices start at over $1,000 and that's literally for friends and people I actually care about and events I really care about. So I quoted her at $700 to promote and to host. So she goes, I'm so sorry, I don't have a budget for a host anymore. I only have about $150 for you to make an appearance, host your meet and greet, and post the event on your social media. If you were a nonprofit actually raising money to send back to Haiti on a consistent basis, or an organization working with Black African American communities, trying to feed them, educate them, maybe buy up the block, offer, you know, different types of services, or a Hispanic organization working to destigmatize immigration. I don't know. If you were actually doing something that made fucking sense, maybe. Because I do things for charity very regularly. Like the events that I just danced at recently, if you guys are not aware because you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I do dance, motivation, and lifestyle on there. And I post my 2 recent performances. It was at a Haitian gala for a nonprofit that sends money to Haiti regularly to fix the roads back where my parents are from. I did that shit completely for free. 2 dances. Took up a lot of hours of my time. And typically I charge about $500 flat to do 1 performance. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, why would I even, 150 is fucking insulting. Like, it's insulting because we went from 700 to 150 and then you keep telling me bullshit excuses as to why you don't want to do what you want to do and I got to hear about it. When we had our initial conversation, it was literally like a 3-hour conversation. So I already understood what type of bullshit she was going through and I already understood that this was the biggest bullshit and somebody already got in her ear and told her to do something that she genuinely didn't want to do. So, like, when I'm talking about, like, people were being snakes to her, I'm talking about, like, people taking her idea, replicating the event, people that was, like, by her side helping her, like, literally not really helping her, taking connections from her and, like, trying to, like, flip shit in their favor. It was really bad. So when she started telling me that, at that point, I just got annoyed. And I understand I just listened to this girl talk for 3 hours and all of that. And, you know, I am sympathetic to that, but, like, business is business. Don't fucking play with my money and don't play in my face. For you to offer me $150 to host an event, promote an event, and do a meet and greet with my followers that you're going to be making way more money off of is absolutely insulting because you really must think I'm dumb. I am not a slave. My ancestors went through slavery, so I didn't have to. So you can miss me with all of that. You must be out of your goddamn mind. Like, that shit really pissed me off. When I'm telling y'all, I handed it to her. You guys have been seeing the messages on the screen. I don't give a fuck and I don't feel bad because you got some nerve, okay? You got the nerve, gall, and audacity to even ask me to do that. I would never. I am genuinely one of those people that I love doing things that I love to do, even if it's for free. However, when it comes to businesses that A, I know have the money and are being stupid, B, don't really have a philanthropic type of existence, I don't give a fuck. I'm very cutthroat because business is business, okay? I'm not going to ask somebody to literally give me more than what it is that I can afford because I know that's wrong, right? I'm not going to sit there and ask somebody to work for less than what they're worth. If you want to give me a discount, that's cool, but you're not going to ever see me sitting there doing that bullshit that she did. Like, and it didn't help that she was Haitian because it's like, goddamn, how many bad experiences do I have to have with Haitian businesses till I say, yeah, maybe that's not the best idea. Almost every single Haitian business I have tried to have anything with has pissed me off to no fucking end. So, of course, I did not do the event. She has not reached back out. I don't even think the event happened because I didn't see anyone posting about it. I should definitely go check to see. But I will say when it comes to their events, they're very stupid. Like, they're actually really good events, but they never post anything online. That's why I was actually willing to help them with their social media for real, for real. Even that event that I did, they barely posted anything. I think they posted like 1 or 2 things about it, but it's like they had a photographer, they had a videographer. And I know they paid a pretty penny for that place because it was literally at a hotel and hotels are not cheap to have event ads. So I'm just like, why are you wasting money like that? Like, at that point, you don't have money and you don't have a budget because you literally are wasting time and money on shit that you don't need to be wasting time and money on. $5,000 for a venue. And I know you paid the videographer and the photographer and you're not even posting the shit. Like, be fucker for real. So yeah, I didn't do the event. I really don't give a fuck. I hope they never talk to me again. A lot of times when I do these types of videos where I'm talking about people that done fucked me over or whatever, people are always like, oh, well, companies are not going to want to work with you anymore. Please don't. I don't give a fuck. Funny enough, I actually always have sponsors. One thing about me, like, luckily, I cuss like a sailor. I am who I am. I'm not really polished. I get sponsors and I'm extremely grateful for that. But at the same time, it's just like sometimes working with people is a lot more strenuous than one might think. A lot of people may think, oh, well, all you got to do is sit down and film or post this. But it's like, no, you have to make the content, you have to edit the content, and you have to abide by certain guidelines. If it's not by the guidelines, you have to revise it and revise it and revise it till it is. And then you have to pick a good time to post these things. You have to come up with the metadata. It's mad shit. No, I would actually prefer not to work with these motherfuckers. With that being said, comment down below, what are some unprofessional experiences that you have had with businesses, especially in your culture? I would love to hear them down below. I really tend to give Black people, Haitian people, Hispanic people, anybody that's a minority, a lot of grace. And I really need to stop doing that. With that being said, thank you guys so much if you've donated to the GoFundMe. If you haven't, everything is going to be linked down below. And of course, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.